You got the Black Sheep Dres, Dres, and I'm from Queens, New York.
Woo!
Alright.
Legendary, iconic Black Sheep, right?
Yes, sir.
Dres, what's good, man?
Everything is good, man. I'm feeling very, very good about life. Been doing what I've been doing for about 30 plus years now, and I know who the Black Sheep is.
This man's 30 years deep in the game. One of the pioneering fashion people from the 90s that addressed, that used fashion to his advantage. So let's talk about how your style evolved.
I came up with a crew called the Native Tongue, and each of these groups, it was a collection of groups, different groups, such as Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Jungle Brothers, basically the foundation. Each of these groups had their own look. Jungle Brothers, very much camouflage, you know what I'm saying? De La Soul, very much free-flowing, kind of got the moniker hippie-ish, you know what I'm saying? Just because they kind of rocked a lot of kind of free-flowing garb, you know what I'm saying, that you might think of 60s, 70s. Tribe Called Quest, very Afrocentric. So we were the Black Sheep of this crew, and we had to find a way to kind of be amongst but stand out. Hence, I kind of look just like I look right now back then, you know what I'm saying?
With a modern touch.
Yeah, definitely a little modern touch, the updated, you know what I'm saying, look. But very much, I always say we were kind of urban chic, you know what I'm saying? We were definitely off a block in Queens, but we knew enough about, I would say, probably the finer spots of Manhattan, and we always kind of dressed to attend whatever the function would be. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of learned that early in life from the places that I kind of grew up, Astoria Projects, the Bland Projects in Queens, New York. I kind of had a young hustler's look to a degree, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a little tweak here and there just to say that I wasn't a young hustler at this point. I was a young MC. Definitely was fashion forward, you know what I'm saying? And definitely bringing our own vision of the crew that we came to be to the forefront, you know what I'm saying? While other cats were doing what they were doing, we were doing our own thing.
Respect to that. In the 90s, when everybody else had, extra baggy clothes, that's what the kids are biting off now.
Yeah, true. I'm seeing the
so
kind of revert.
How did you guys decide to be more form-fitting, be in suits, and just be on the chicer side of fashion that young?
I would definitely attribute that to kind of the crew I grew up with, you know what I'm saying? I used to hustle in the Bland Projects in Queens. And one of the things that kind of you're afforded when you grow up in a project is that there's a crew of boosters. The crew of boosters that were around us in the Bland Projects, Fee, Lori, Deb, Gail, and a guy by the name of Thomas, God bless the memory of Thomas. They were flyer than you could ever imagine. They, you know what I'm saying, regularly boosted from spots like Saks, Barney's, you know what I'm saying, Bloomingdale's. It wasn't just kind of the snatch and grab from some place that they could get something. They were very much, they were the first stylists that I ever knew of. And they styled me and my crew. They knew we had some paper. They knew our sizes. So they'd bring an elephant skin jacket, you know what I'm saying, be introduced to not just a sheepskin, but a lambskin jacket, you know what I'm saying, that was tailored to your size because they knew your sizes. They knew your shoe sizes, pant sizes. We were rocking Benetton wool slacks when cats, you know what I'm saying, were rocking Coca-Cola shirts. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a difference in my crew and what you were seeing on the corner. You know what I'm saying? But this is just my crew. We were a little bit sharper than the cats you saw on the corner. We were dressing to attend. I learned that from a young age. Always dress to attend. And to attend what, you might say? To attend anything. You understand? And so that's always how I've always, presented myself. Even right now, like I'm not dressed to go somewhere, but if I happen to be somewhere, I can get in without question. You know what I'm
Period.
saying? And that's how I kind of was raised, you know what I'm saying? Always dressed to attend. And that's the crew I came up with. So when it came to Black Sheep, we became an extension of that. You know what I'm saying? We were amongst these cats that we love, our brothers, but they all had individual looks. And we kind of got the opportunity to bring who we were and stand out just as they did with our own personal fashion taste. You know what I'm saying?
Love that. For the kids that don't know what boosters are, explain.
Well, a booster is someone, you gotta understand, I'm coming from inner city New York, you know what I'm saying? And when I say we used to hustle, we used to like sell weed, like how you can buy weed now in about 20 stores on 20 blocks. You couldn't do that back then. So we'd be in, kind of selling bags of weed. We hustled, and as different things came into play in the drug era, we started selling different things, not to glorify any of that, but that's what we did as youngsters. Now, that we were kind of kids able to make roughly $1,000 a day minimally, you know what I'm saying, from hustling. You got a contingency of boosters. Boosters are people who go to stores to steal, shoplifters. But they're very much focused. They're not just stealing anything they can get. A booster is someone that literally is like, this should never happen in all day. But just to say, a booster would be like, saying, okay, there's a pair of orange and black dunks in there that you need for this outfit that I got from you from Saks. They'd have the ability to somehow come to a store and get exactly that in your size and get it to you at a reduced rate. You know what I'm saying? So we buy almost all of our clothes from these stylists that would present to us fashion forward things that were just sharp, not just Bally shoes, but a Bally jacket. You know what I'm saying? Like, these were the first cats that were introducing fashion to us. So, we all just became an extension of the things that they were introducing us to us. Like Guess, I was rocking Guess jeans when they cost $250 a pair. You know what I'm saying? Before, like this is way back before you thought about spending $250 for a pair of jeans. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody rocking Levi's. We were rocking Guess with the leather fronts and Missoni sweaters. We were very fashion forward. I remember Carl Kanai coming backstage at the Arsenio Hall show, and he wanted me to rock his Carl Kanai gear, which was just getting started. And as much as I wanted to support him, he was offering me a vest that came all the way down to over my knees. I was wearing a Missoni sweater at the time, you know what I'm saying? And that was under a leather jacket that was butter soft. There was no way in the world I was gonna take that off to put on that vest. As much as I wanted to support him, it just didn't represent how fashion forward I really felt myself to be and the look that I was trying to present. Now, mind you, he went on to become tremendous designer, and I've always applauded what he's doing and saw different artists rocking, like from Tupac to Tretch, this and the other, but I always kind of felt like that's not for me. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be able to stand on your own laurels as someone that, when you wear something, it's not necessarily to be the fad. Sometimes you got to be able to stand on your own laurels and be the individual. So that was me being the individual, you know what I'm saying? And me having the ability to say, nah, like sometimes you also have to have the ability to say no, you know what I'm saying? Respectfully. So as much as I respect Carl Kanai and give him a big salute for his endeavors and everything that he's done in fashion, at that point in time, it just wasn't for me, you know what I'm saying? But don't get it twisted. I've seen everybody grow as far as the independent designers, like I've seen them grow into something that I can rock some of their pieces, and that makes me happy, because sometimes where you're at doesn't necessarily reflect your vision. And that's just where he was at that moment, you know what I'm saying? And it didn't reflect my vision.
I know you mentioned you hung around with the hustlers, right?
Right.
So I just want to make sure the kids know what you're referring to. So the hustlers were the ones that were the NBA players want to dress like. They were the most fashion forward people. They were like the movie stars of
our day.
Of our time,
yeah,
right?
Without question. We speaking to cats that hustlers, like essentially they lived an illegal lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? But these were, especially when you're inner city, these are the cats that have money. These are the cats that have a means. They have a vehicle. They have pretty girls. They have jewelry. They're wearing clothes that are obviously something that costs more than the average person's attire. So they were kind of glorified and embodied something that every kid wanted. They looked successful. You know what I'm saying? And so when you're in the inner city, you know what I'm saying, the look of success is something that, you know, is very attractive. So a lot of cats had aspirations to follow in their footsteps, to be just like. But it just wasn't just the kids, because the hustlers set the tempo for what hip hop actually is. You know what I'm saying? It was the young MCs of the day that wanted to be like the hustlers. The hustlers had the car. You know what I'm saying? The hustlers were popular. You know what I'm saying? At that time, an MC was not what an MC is today. You know what I'm saying? A DJ wasn't what a DJ is today. There was no bloggers, you know what I'm saying? There might have been radio personalities, but even a radio personality was not what they were today. No one was aspiring to be them. They were aspiring to be like the hustlers. And we see it, you know, in every video where you see someone wearing some jewelry, where you see someone in a nice car. All of that came from those hustling beginnings.
Especially the Dookie chain.
Oh, without question. You know, so without question. And there was a time when you really couldn't even wear that unless you could hold that down. This is a point in time when the streets were much more dangerous, much more confrontational. You know what I'm saying? And given what borough you lived in, where you lived in that borough, and where you were on this particular day, anything could happen in New York. So when you came outside, you had to have a sense of self. You had to have a walk about you. Other people had to be able to look at you and instantly know whether or not you were a wolf or a sheep. You understand? And in order for you to even rock jewelry or something that was wanted, like, you know, a jacket that looked like it might have cost $5,000, $7,000, $1,000, if you don't look like you can hold that down, someone's taking that from you. You know what I'm saying? So you had to have a walk about you in these days. That today you don't really necessarily have to have. You understand? So it kind of diminishes the value of some of what you see, because there was a walk you had to have in order to have that. It made us who we are, though. You know what I'm saying? I think in my particular case, you know what I'm saying, it made me kinder. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, like once you kind of understand who you are in that position, you understand that you don't have to be certain things. You know what I'm saying? You understand that a real strength comes from a kindness that you can offer, as opposed to a confrontation. You know what I'm saying? And you know, anybody can do certain things. I'll give you a great analogy real quickly. The times we're talking about have grown to glorify killers. You know, we're in a time where the killer is glorified, the shooter is glorified. But it's almost like anybody can be that. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can be that. The strength is to be the opposite of that. The opposite of that would be someone that can give life, to be a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Because anybody can be that. But can anybody be a doctor? Can anybody be someone that heals? The total opposite of taking away something. You know what I'm saying? The real strength is over here. You know what I'm saying? Anybody could be that person. Be strong enough to be this person. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that you grow to. You know what I'm saying? I had to grow to see things like that. You know what I'm saying? And I even hope that fashion-wise that I represent notions of that caliber. You understand? Like, that's what I say when I get dressed. That's who I want you to see. Someone of caliber that thinks and, you know, put together an outfit with some thought as to who I am. You understand? I don't look like anybody. I look like me.
You were always a very an advocate for like earth tones. What is it about earth tones that speaks to you?
I love earth tones, and that's so accurate. I think there's something regal, I think, about earth tones. I think there's something regal in it, and I also think there's something rugged in it. You know what I'm saying? And I think those are two things that those are two words that I like to embrace as far as how I look. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to appear regal. I want to appear rugged. You know what I'm saying? And I think earth tones offer me that. You know what I'm saying? That speaks for me. You know what I'm saying? And, jean-wise, I don't have to be anything spectacular. I'm comfortable in a Levi. You know what I'm saying? Like something really basic that speaks to a commonality.
It's a classic as well.
Without question, I think, I would say Levi's is a given. You know what I'm saying? Levi's fashion-wise is a given. You're going to find it in any scenario. I'm a big fan of, the Japanese designers. And, to come to find out, one of the Japanese jeans that are designed are most of them, probably 90% of them, are the result of a meeting that some Japanese company had at Levi's. Levi's had a broken press of sort, I guess,
They call mills.
Mill, right, a broken mill, and it was in their lobby, and the Japanese company inquired about it, asked could they purchase it, brought it back to Japan, fixed it, and used it as the premise of the jeans.
Oh my bad, they call looms.
Looms, right, loom, right. No. But but for me to hear this story, you know what I'm saying, I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? And I love, like I said, I love the Japanese designers. I think they're so sharp, very sharp. Pay attention to Japanese designers. They're very fashion forward. But to find out that the Levi's were the premise of a lot of the jeans that they, you know what I'm saying, made me love Levi's even more. You know what I'm saying? Word up.
All right. So let's jump right into it. Let's talk about what you have on. So I noticed you right away when you had this sweater on. You see the back of it?
From Orvis.
Oh, all right. I think they do use Irish, I guess they call knitswomen or knitsmen to compose their sweaters. Yeah. I mean, they're very well made, and these things are indestructible. They'll last you
this
a lifetime.
Is definitely generational. You know what I'm saying? Something simple under it, like a long john shirt, basic. You know what I'm saying? Warmth. But I love Orvis as a company. I even rocking the Orvis jacket. You know what I'm saying?
Like a little aviator popping.
Yeah,
right?
no doubt. You know what I'm saying? The one the Saint Laurents, and so you can see me better. And like the Orvis jacket.
There goes the earth tones again. Right?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Earth tones for sure. Keeping it really simple in a pair of Levi's. And I think that the Lems boots complements what? Yeah. The sweater and the jacket.
And it looked like beef and broccolis as well.
You know what I'm saying? There's something beautiful right there.
Woo! This is like 90s rough and rugged, but still smooth.
Exactly.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? And this is exactly what I spoke to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to see me and, like the colors, you're going to think a little camouflage, beef and broccoli. Perfect. But at the same time, there's a distinguished, sensibility about it. Your jacket is something that, it doesn't matter if this is 20 years ago or 20 years from now. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get me in. I'm dressed to a 10.
I love it. You know what I really appreciate about your outfit? It's like this is a truly Dres outfit. Cause you know how some guys in in our age bracket, they're just trying to do too much.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you have a perfect. You're staying true to yourself, and it's the simplicity. It says a little bit more, right?
Without question. Anybody my age that has a bunch of holes in their jeans, just a little bit.
I like that. So my next question: can you name a celebrity, maybe even like a rapper that has a style that you appreciate?
Well, I like who my De La brothers have grown to be. You wouldn't look at them and think hippie-ish today. Pastanusa's sneaker collection is to be admired. I like some of the things that 50 might attempt. You know what I'm saying? Because 50 will throw on a suit, you know what I'm saying, or he'll throw on a blazer, and you know what I'm saying, and and make some sense out of it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's pretty brash, which is not necessarily my eye. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody wants to outdo you with the gaudy at this point. You might see me leaning towards literally an Uncle Murder.
Ooh, okay.
Word up, literally. You know, like you could tell that he spent some paper for his gear. You know what I'm saying? And I come from that. Might have been a little different selection in maybe colors or what have you as far as me, like, you know, like maybe the color of a jacket or something to that degree. But you could see, you know, he spent some paper on that. I come from that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, like I can respect what it is because I have an eye that can recognize what it is. There's not a lot of cats that are kind of really doing real things fashion-wise, in my opinion, as far as my older self. I respect what a younger cat is doing. I'll look at like what the Migos look like, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying, what any of the young artists might look like. It's not something that I particularly would wear. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really big on skinny jeans, very blousey shirts, of skirts, or anything of the sort to be fashion forward.
How do you feel about the 90s resurgence coming back in fashion? And before you expound on that, I was just telling Sean, because we're in all day right now, Forest Hill, Queens, right? I was telling him that I do not like it. And simply because, not because I don't like the 90s, but the kids, what they're wearing now, is what the geeks were wearing back then. Like a dad hat. Imagine Dres wearing a dad hat, or like those chunky like New Balances.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So how do you feel about it?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not far from your train of thought. I'm appreciative. I think that some diversity exists. Because it seemed for a little while, like, you know, like if you didn't look like what they were saying was fashion, then you were out of fashion. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't cool to me because like I said, I'm not a big fan of some of the extra tightness that was existing right now. It's good to see it loosening up a little bit, and so this is diversity I think that hip hop needs. It's good to see it loosening up a bit, so now I don't seem as far-fetched not wearing something skinny. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know, like, they're a little geeky with it, you're right, but you know what? There was plenty of geeky cats that existed when we came through, and I think it's just as important as how if everybody sounds like this hip-hop-wise, we get an opportunity to differentiate ourselves from them. So let them be geeky with their extra wide pants and their big bubble sneakers, because we get to differentiate who we are to that. You know what I'm saying?
Dres spreading the all-inclusivity over there, right?
That's how we gotta do it.
All right. So again, like I stated, we're in all day New York, right? Forest Hill, Queens.
Yo, the spot. I love this spot.
Check them out, right? So I'm gonna ask you to pick your favorite sneaker off this wall. So let's take a look. I'm gonna give you a second, all right, Dres?
Okay. There's so many things in here that you could just fall over to, man. Like these sneakers are just always an array of colors that you can kind of. I really dig this store. I come by here kind of often on the low. Right up, it's one of my go-to spots. Right up. Something like this is really cool on some cool out. I'll come through here when I want to match something like with it for a show. You know what I'm saying? Like I might have something. Like I got a big show coming up. Like I'll come through here when I'm trying to catch something for a show. Like I might have a sweatshirt or something that I like and I need a particular color. And I'll slide by. Matter of fact, these particular ones right here, I bought these recently. They go with this sky blue sweatshirt that I have, and it's such a beautiful Carolina blue. It's not even like just a regular light blue. This is a beautiful joint. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. What would I grab? These are hot too.
Those are kind of hot.
Come on, man. Like Sean really does a great job of curating.
Yeah, he does.
Man. He really does, for real. I'm not a big Jordan head, but I do like the colors. These are hard. Ooh. But let me see. All right, now that I gave it a quick scan, I can almost make a decision. These are hard. Okay, I see what I am gonna go back to the beginning where it all started for me. Right up. They're colorful, you know what I'm saying? I'd like to think that I could wear them in LA because they're red and blue. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like I like this for a nice diverse stitching and you know what I'm saying? It's a nice little air joint.
Right, there you go. So I asked everybody to rate the fit. So basically I'm gonna ask you, scale of 1 to 10, obviously 10 being the highest. Mm-hmm. What do you think about your own fit for today?
Well, my own fit for today, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. This fit right here is, okay, I was going to get a haircut. I knew I had to get a haircut. And I knew I had to stop by and check out my dude, Sean, who was going to introduce me to some really cool people. So I wanted to make sure that I was dressed to attend. And I feel like I did that, I accomplished that. I didn't come in here looking abnormal. For that reason, I will give my fit a solid 8.
Yeah, you just chilling.
You know, yeah, just kind of cooling out. My limb boots, kind of like, this is my word. When you got old white men looking at your feet, you doing something. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking by old white men, they looking out at my feet like,
are they butter soft?
Are they butter soft? Of course.
What question is that?
You know what I mean? Like, my name is Dres. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, when you got old white men that look down at your feet and look at you, now you're dressed to attend.
Love that. All right. Before I let you go, you want to share your Instagram with us?
Please. Make sure you hit me up at Black Sheep Dres. Black Sheep Dres, Dres, at Instagram.
Woo!
There you go.
Give him a follow. There it goes.
Yo, come on. I follow back.